Sha'ar Hagilgulim, Shiur number 6. We ended up last week saying that a person, when he has his nefesh, he can never leave his shorish neshama in the same spot. He always has to get his sphera to the world of Keter. Why? Because there is a certain chashash, a suspicion, God forbid, that the Kali, the Yetzer Hara, the Sitra Achra, is going to come and he's going to grab his root soul. So therefore, to cause that root soul to be, how you say, protected, you have to reach the world of Keter. In your nefesh shebenefesh, in your ruach shebenefesh, in your nishama shebenefesh, chaya shebenefesh, and yichida shebenefesh. Okay? So therefore, like we said last week, to reach your ruach is 10 times harder than to reach your neshama, to reach your chaya, to reach your yichida. To get your ruach is very hard work. That's why most of us in this room, in this city, in this world, it's very hard for us to reach the state of ruach, even ruach shebenefesh, because it's a very tough work. And we said last week, how do you do it? How do you fix your neshama? I want to get there. How am I going to do it? The Ari says you need 2 things. Rav Shimon Agassi brings down the Bnei Aaron. It's not enough to do the 613 mitzvot. It means you got to do all 613 mitzvot. It's not enough though. That means you got to send away the mother bird and take the chicks. You got to buy the donkey, Peter Hamor. You got to do Zeroa V'Lechaya and give the Kohen the matanot. You got to do Maaser. You got to do Shemitah. You got to do all the 613. But it's not enough. You also have to work on your Ma'asim. You have to work on your Midot. Because to change your root soul, to get Keter, you have to have an image. What's Keter, guys?
Crown.
The crown. If I would, like I told you guys, Chokhmah, Abba is what? Simcha, it's happiness. I want to tap into that. Bina is what? Pleasure. Right? Yain, wine is Bina. Shemen is Simcha, it's oil, it's Abba. What's Keter? Keter is Pashut, it's humbleness. If you want to tap into Keter, you got to be humble. When you're humble, when I'm acting humble, I'm tapping into that. If you always want to be in Keter, you have to be always humble. That's why the only person to ever reach the highest level in the world is who? Moshe Rabbeinu. Only Mashiach is gonna... But who's Mashiach? Mashiach is Moshe. Goel Acharon, the last Redeemer, is gonna be his Gilgul. Moshe is gonna be a Mashiach. Okay? What? David HaMelech, he never reached Yehidah. He didn't reach, he did what Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't do in one sense, but he didn't do what he did in one sense. Moshe Rabbeinu reached the highest level. David HaMelech fixed in one reincarnation more than anybody ever did, because Moshe Rabbeinu was a couple of people. He was Hevel, he was Sheth, he was Noah. That means it wasn't his first time in the world, right? David, it was his first time in the world, and he came from the worst place possible. The worst place possible, and he fixed in one shot something nobody ever did in their lifetime. That's why, how do you tap into that? You gotta read Tehillim. Right? Like some Talmid Chacham once told me, I see Tehillim as a waste of time. So you're gonna stay with your nefesh for a whole lifetime. That person talks like that, he's gonna stay with his nefesh his whole life. Now this guy, you have 10 minutes a day, you gotta read Tehillim. 5 minutes a day, you read a chapter, you read a kapitel, Tikkun HaKlali. Tehillim is extremely powerful. It could change a person's life, a person's destiny. Okay? Now, so that's where we ended off. So the Ari says, so the pasuk, this is the meaning of the pasuk. Lo yisa Elohim nefesh v'choshev machashavot v'bidi idach imenu didach. There's a certain pasuk in the book of Samuel. It doesn't make sense. God thinks of ways to help the soul. That there will be no soul left alone. But look at what Samuel says. Look at Shmuel says. What word does he use to say the soul over? He doesn't say neshama. What does he say? Nefesh. So the Ari expounds on this point. He says this is the meaning of the pasuk, that there will be no nefesh left alone. Because the nefesh, to get to the next level, you have to put the nefesh where? In the keter. That way the nefesh is always, once you fix the nefesh, it's forever fixed. Okay? It's a very special thing. That's what Shmuel really meant.
So with, like the season you mentioned
Yeah.
before, you said he got already past that.
So what happens? We didn't get to that point. So to explain that guy, I want to say that false Messiah. Number one, why did he crack? Because he was a ben nida. Okay? When you're a ben nida, you have to work triple as hard. Because your soul you're already born in this world with a certain, it's more than a blemish, you have a handicap. You understand? You have a certain handicap that you have to work. That means it's not enough just to get to Ruach. You're really ready for that. Now, we're going to learn later on that when a person gets to Ruach Neshama, God is not afraid, Chas v'Shalom. But in retrospect, I'm just saying, God doesn't want you to ruin your nefesh. What does He do? When a person, it's time for him to get his Ruach, the Ari says many people die that night. He dies, his nefesh goes up. Now his Ruach is supposed to come down, right? Into his soul. Because you finish your nefesh. Why doesn't the nefesh stay inside of you? The Ruach hasn't been fixed yet. The nefesh is fixed. So God doesn't want to put the Ruach that's not fixed into the nefesh. Why? Because it's going to ruin what you already fixed. So what does God do? The nefesh stays up there and the Ruach has to come down now. But the Ruach finds nothing to... So the guy passes away. This is the reason why many tzaddikim die at a young age. That's the reason, the Ari says. So what do you do to fix that? The Ari says, before you go to sleep, say a pasuk. Nafshi v'ticha balayla, af ruhi v'kirvi ashahareka. If you say the pasuk, even if you fix your nefesh, God is going to send you inside your body something to hold the Ruach. That's called nefesh hager. The soul of a convert.
Can you extend?
Huh?
Can you extend?
Yes. What does that mean? Every ger, how does he become a ger? I just want to become a ger. It doesn't just come to you like that. I mean, 613 mitzvot, it's a pretty tough life. What happens? Before a ger gets an awakening, his soul was in a cleansing process. What's gonna be his soul was in a cleansing process inside a tzaddik already. Inside a tzaddik. That tzaddik works with it, with that part of his soul, while he has his ruach. So he has a very good, connection with that nefesh hager. And once the tzaddik finishes his ruach, the nefesh hager leaves him and he goes to some ger, a person who's supposed to be a ger, and suddenly he goes inside of him and he gets an awakening. I want to be a Yehudi now. Understand? Now his own nefesh can't do that. Why? Because God doesn't want to ruin it. So He sends something called nefesh hager. Okay? But we're going to get, Dari has a lot to talk about that. A lot. Because it's a very big deal. Okay? When we want to finish our nar nechi, we need to work with nefesh hager. That's why, what does the Torah say? It's a specific mitzvah. V'ahavtem et hager. You gotta love the ger. Why? It's not just the ger that you see outside. It's the ger inside of you. Okay, now where do those souls come from? From a zivug of tzaddikim. The tzaddikim every midnight have a zivug lemala, a connection with their female counterparts in the olamot al-yonim, and they create these nishamot. Understand?
So gears.
It's a certain kind of nishama. Okay, there's many different types. There's some people, by the way. I mean, for example, let's look at. There was one guy who was called Count Petoskey. You ever heard of him? Avraham ben Avraham, they call him. The Gaon Vilna said, I want to be buried next to this guy. He died on the worst Kiddush Hashem. It's a famous story. The Gra brings it down in Hilchot Nitlat Yadayim. It's a crazy story. When he passed away on Kiddush Hashem, the level of Tum'ah decreased in the world. That's why the Gra says you wake up in the morning, you don't have to run right away to Nitlat Yadayim. You could walk to the water basin and do it. Why? Back in the day, the Gra says, you had to, right away, you woke up in the morning, right away to Nitlat Yadayim. The Gra says, in our days, you don't got to do it. Why? When this guy died in Kiddush Hashem, this ger, it was such a big commotion in heaven, the Gra brings on halacha in Shulchan Aruch that he decreased the level of impurity in the world. It's a long story, I don't want to get into it right now. So God really wants to make sure the nefesh is fixed. The nefesh must be fixed. Okay, the nefesh can never be ruined. It should not be ruined. Okay, because if you fix, then you ruined it again. You have to go through another lifetime to fix it. We don't want that. God wants tikkun olam. God wants you to fix the world. God doesn't want you to destroy the world. Okay. Why the nefesh? It's in the world of asiyah. The nefesh comes from which world? Asiyah. V'yesh pachad. There is fear. Ulai yidach mimenu nidach. God forbid. B'shvil hakali yesher sham. God forbid the klipa, the sitra achra will want to grab the nefesh because it's really close to it. It's an easy catch. It's an easy, easy way it's easy to destroy the nefesh. It's easy to ruin it, It's like a Baal Tshuva. A Baal Tshuva, it's easy to get him back to his old ways. Right? Because he already tasted the world, He knows what it feels like, If you give a guy who never tasted chocolate before, here's some chocolate. It's like, what is it that looks like what you do in the... I don't want it. But if a guy already tastes, he knows it's sweet, it's good, it's delicious, he'll want it. But you're on a diet, but he wants it. Right? So that's the Baal Tshuva. Baal Tshuva is a nefesh. It's connected to the world of nefesh, the world of asiyah. That's our job in this world. I explained this last week in my Sha'ar Hagilgulim number 5. We explained last week, our whole job in this world, this generation, is asiyah. We're the world of asiyah, guys. Because we come from the legs of Adam HaRishon. The legs, it's by the kali. It's by the klipa. And we gotta fix the nefesh. Our nefesh is messed up, guys. Our ruach, neshama, hayat, probably some tzaddik already fixed it. Our nefesh is messed up. It's messed up. We gotta fix it. How do you fix the nefesh? You do action. You need action. You need to do action. Not sit on your tuchos all day and wait for something to happen. You need action. You gotta be proactive. Proactive in mitzvot. You gotta help other people. Some people I know, they do a mitzvah, a rare mitzvah. They don't want other people to know about it. Why? He doesn't know why. He has to overcome them. That's his test. You gotta be proactive to fight the klipa. You could help somebody, you could do some chesed, right away you gotta do it. You know somebody who's single and you have a girl, maybe she's not gonna go, I don't wanna put myself in the middle, maybe the shidduch is not gonna work out, maybe I'm gonna get they're gonna blame me for it. You're not allowed to think like that. Right away you gotta call the guy and say, I got something for you. Let them break up their own heads. It's not your problem. It's your job to give the number, that's it. אמנם, התיקון אשר הוא עושה לנפש מפחד הנזכר הוא כי לא יישא אלוהים לנפש. God will never leave the נפש alone. פירוש. כי אין השם יתברך נושא או מגביה לאדם. לתת לו נפש אחרת. God will not give you the next level. You can't level up. You can't get to the רוח of the נפש. יותר מעולה ממה שהוא שורשו. You can't get higher than what your root soul is. If I come from the yesod, right? I can never be higher than the yesod. I'm Yesod, right? That my sphera is what? Yesod. I can't be higher than Yesod, so therefore what? The Fishimaya was second. If I would be higher than what my root soul is, what would happen? So, if I'm, for example, I come from the 10 sphirot. I come from the 10 sphirot from Yesod. There's 10, right? Keter, Chokhmah, Binah, Da'at, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchut. This is my sphere, let's say. Let's say I'm Yesod. I'm always going to be Yesod. But didn't I just tell you have to reach till Keter? So how am I Yesod? When I reach Keter, I'm Yesod of the Keter. But I'm still what? I'm still a Yesod. In the other world, it's not like that. In the Yetzirah, Bria, once I'm Yesod, I can totally change who I am. I could become then Netzach. I could become a Hod. Why? Because there's no fear of the Kali. There's no fear of the Klipa. So I could leave my soul, whatever I fix, in the bottom. It's okay. But over here, I can't do that. I have to stay what? So what do? I take this sphere with me. I don't leave it on the bottom. I gotta take it with me. That's why it's so hard. So you got a lot of baggage with you in the world of Asiyah. Because you got to take all these parts of the neshama with you up. It's very hard to do that. And God forbid, if you would leave the Yesod on the bottom, what's on the bottom over here? The world of the Kali. They're going to come, God forbid, and they're going to grab it. Chas v'shalom. לכן איננו נותן לו נפש אחרת יותר נשואה וגבוהה, רק הנפש הראשון לבדי היא עצמה עולה למעלה. So what happens? I finish the Yesod, I finish my part, and the Nefesh of a Nefesh, God doesn't give me now a Netzach or a Hod. I gotta take this Yesod and I gotta pick it all the way up. Not in the other worlds, only in the world of Asiyah. Okay? In the world of the Nefesh. Okay, I gotta pick up. What does he say over there? Nosa'av begova. I gotta pick it up. Ad Keter da Asiyah. Where does he go up until? Until the world of Keter. Ve'eino nefesh acher zeh. And I still stuck with my shorish neshama, but it's of the, it's nullified in the Keter. Masha'enken beyitzira, this doesn't apply in yitzira. Doesn't apply to your ruach. B'shar olamot and neshama and chaya and yechida. Ki rucho nishmato nishar lemala. Once I finish, let's say right now, I'm done with the world of Asiyah. I fixed my whole nefesh. I fixed it. It's good. Now what's next? Ruach. Ruach has how many systems? 5 systems. So in every one of those systems, I have a part of my ruach, right? So let's say I'm right now in nefesh sheba ruach. I'm in nefesh of my ruach. Now what happens? This nefesh ruach has how many sfirot? So what happens? Let's say I come from the Yesod once again. Let's say I come from the Yesod. Once I fix the Yesod, I fixed it. Of my Nefesh Sheberuach. I fixed it. I don't have to take it all the way up till here. To level up. I don't gotta do that. I could leave him over here. Why? I'm not all the way in the bottom next to the Kali.
So Yesod is the lowest of them all?
No, Malchut is. I just like using the Yesod.
Okay.
I don't have to bring him all the way up. I could fix him. I could leave him on the bottom. And if I want, I can also grab the other 9. If I want.
Well, how would they help to grab the other 9?
How could you do that?
No, how would it? What would be the point of grabbing the other 9?
You could change your root soul. Because you're Yesod, you have a very low root soul. People think that I'm the Brit, I'm Yosef, I'm Yesod. You're all the way at the bottom, man.
But collecting more...
Collecting more is much better. Getting more points. You understand? Don't you want to level up in a big way? Right? It's like eating, like having growth hormone. You gotta be bigger and taller and stronger, right? You don't want to stay all the time in the Yesod.
Right, so the question is, so how does that affect you when
It affects you in a great way. The higher you go up, the more your root soul changes, the more your responsibility changes, the more sparks of your soul you get.
How do you know this is happening?
This
It's all internally?
It's a very good question. It's not internal, it's also external. You don't realize it happening because we're so stuck in the schmutz. There's New York, Tel Aviv, all these kinds of places. We're so stuck in the schmutz. You don't realize how your life is changing around you. The people you meet 5 years ago, would you ever think that you will be sitting in a Sha'ar Hagilgulim shiur in Leshem? You take it for granted. The fact that you're sitting over here, something has changed. You understand? Suddenly a person, I don't want to wear any more cotton tzitzit. I want to wear the wool tzitzit. Where do you think that comes from? Suddenly you just wanted to wear wool tzitzit? You had a certain weight. It means you changed. Your shores changed. Something changed. You gained something. Now there could be many reasons. This could be one of the many reasons. We're going to learn, B'ezrat Hashem, you could also have sometimes called an impregnation of a soul. But I don't want to get there yet. We're jumping the gun over here. Okay, let's do it slowly. I don't want to scare people over here. So the soul gets inside of me. Dibuk. This is a good dibuk we're talking about. There's good ones and there's bad ones. Alright? Oh, so, Nishar, you're in the Ruach, your Yesod stays on the bottom. If you're Yesod, Umarviach Ruach Acher, you can even get an extra Ruach, Yoter Elyon, even higher, Kifit Tikun Maaseh V'Nizkar. V'zeh Sod Hakdama Nodal, Ki Kol Adam Yechol Liot Ki Moshe Rabbeinu. This is the meaning that every person could be like Moses. You know the famous midrash? Everybody could be like Moses. How is that possible? If I'm from Yesod, Moshe Rabbeinu was from Reshad Elayit Yada. He was V'lo Yada Ish Gevurato. Nobody even knows where he's buried. He was such a high soul. Right? How could I be like Moshe? No, you could be like Moshe. Because even though I started off in the Yesod, I have the ability to do what? To change my root soul. I have the ability to do that. Okay? For example, somebody's always afraid of everything. There's a famous story of Mordechai Sharabi. There was one guy who came up to him one day. I'm not saying this is with everybody. This is one story that happened with Mordechai Sharabi in the book Derech Tzadikim. One guy comes up to him and he tells the rabbi, Mordechai Sharabi, he says, listen, everything I do, I'm always afraid. I hear a noise, I get afraid. Very sensitive guy. But Mordechai Sharabi told him, your neshama comes from Olam HaAtzilut. So, you know, if somebody would tell that to me, I'll grow wings. The guy didn't even know what he was talking about. He had no connection to Kabbalah at all. And when he left, his students said, how does this guy, he's a nobody, he's a regular Jew. How did he get a soul from Olam HaAtzilut? So Rav Shahabi said, just because our guy is not a huge Talmid Chacham, doesn't mean he can't have a high-level soul. So what do you need to do to have a high-level soul? Sometimes you can change your root soul. You could start very low by tikkun ma'asim, changing your midot, doing all the mitzvot, learning as much Torah as possible. You could change levels. That's what this guy did, Rav Shahabi explained. It's unbelievable. And everybody here could do that. Everybody here could do that. But you have to know your surroundings. You know, I'm not saying you guys right now, you gotta change your whole life 180. You gotta do whatever God gave you, with the tools that God gave you. Okay? So you could be like Moses. Why? Moshe, started off as a very small soul. Did you know that? Moshe Rabbeinu,
Had a hidden light,
he had a hidden light, but one aspect of his soul, of his neshama, came from the Kali, from the, I don't want to say, the Sitra Achar. They took his neshama. He had one of his aspects was that he had a certain good aspect, but his main aspect, for example, the famous Midrash, the one guy came up to Moshe, and he's like, he was able to tell by a person's features what kind of person. He's like, he had the face of a robber, a killer, a thief, adulterer, chas v'shalom. All the things. And Moshe Rabbeinu said, yeah, that's who I was supposed to be. But by tikkun ma'asim, he changed himself. So Moshe Rabbeinu did the unthinkable. He started off from the Kali, from the Nefesh, and he reached all the way, but not in one reincarnation. Only King David did that. Right? Moshe was a couple of times before he was Moshe. He was Noah, Hevel, who he was. So everybody can be like Moshe im yirtzeh, if you want. If you have a will, you can be like Moshe. You have to lizachech ma'asad, to purify your ma'asim. And it takes time. You can't do everything in one shot. I'll tell you guys a small secret. How do you be mizachech ma'asim? They once asked Rav Shach, the Rosh Yeshiva Ponovich, I said, what mitzvah you took upon Rosh Hashanah is around the corner. The year is already over. He said, what mitzvah you want to take upon yourself this year? They asked Rav Shach. They said, he's going to take upon himself to finish Shas, take upon himself to finish Zohar. I don't know. You know what he said? I take upon myself to read Birkat HaMazon from the Siddur. I said, what? That's your mitzvah? He said, yeah. That's how he became Rav Shach. You don't take the whole world upon yourself. You gotta take everything, small. These small things add up. Once one guy said, I can't give tzedakah. That's why. You know, I told him you can't give tzedakah because you want to give $100, $200. No, you give 25 cents. Tomorrow you're going to give another 25 cents. You're going to see yourself at the end of the week, you gave $10. At the end of the year, you gave $100. And you feel better. Then, so from 25 cents a day, 50 cents a day, $1 a day. You don't start, no, you got to start off slow. This is what he means over here. Moshe Rabbeinu started off slow. He started off at the house of Paro. Everywhere he turned, there was Avodah Zarah. Everywhere. Kishufim, not just Kishufim, the worst. Mitzrayim, with all the zima you see in the city right now, it started off where? Maaseh Eretz, Mitzrayim. And trust me, we don't know the whole story of Moshe. 40 years, he lived in Paro's house. 40 years. He didn't leave over there when he was a 25-year-old kid. He was 40 years living in his house. Who knows how many tests he had over there? He was a prince. How many goyot wanted to be with him? How much znut they wanted to do with him? We don't know that part of the story.
He was also a king for 4 years. No?
He was a king for 4 years, and he put the sword between him and the queen. He was married to a queen. Kisha Kushit. No, the whole midrash. But that's how he became Moshe. He had a will. You're able to change your root soul, to change your ruach. So let's say you're the yesod of the ruach, you could change yourself to keter of ruach. Let's finish
the page.
Let's finish the page. Okay, one more paragraph, guys. I know it's late. Now with this you could also understand it's a very recurring idea in the Zohar. The Zohar says, the souls of a tzaddik, or their neshama, ba'im u'mit'abrim ba'adam. Inside all of us here, there could be a soul of a tzaddik. Not our soul. You're walking around, suddenly you did a mitzvah. God could put inside of you right now the soul of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. You're walking inside the world, you don't know, you have the soul of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai inside of you. Why? Because you did a mitzvah that he used to do. Unbelievable. Right? It means you could be walking around. That's what happened to Pinchas, right? When Pinchas stabbed Zimri, what happened at that moment? He had Nadav, Avihu, Eliyahu. Another Eliyahu was inside of him because he did a very big mitzvah. It's called Ibur Nishama. This is a new concept that we're learning today. It's a new concept.
But it doesn't stay.
No, it doesn't stay. There's 3 kinds of Ibur Nishama. So the new concept that we're learning today is called Ibur. What's Ibur? To impregnate. A person is walking. Let's say I come from the world of Yesod. Let's say. I come from the Yesod. I'm walking around. I do a mitzvah. My soul is what? Yesod. But with me, helping me, could be the soul of a tzaddik. Suddenly inside of you comes the soul of Rav Ovadia Yosef. Inside of me comes the soul of, I don't know, a Tana. Let's say Rabbi Tarfon. Comes into Rabbi Tarfon. Let's say he used to do a lot of kibbud avayim. He used to respect his parents, like, a lot. He was a big tzaddik, he was very rich. So, and one day you're doing a very big mitzvah of kibbud avayim, and suddenly, bam, inside of you comes the soul of Rabbi Tarfon. What's he doing over there? He's helping you. You mess up, he leaves. You keep on doing it, he stays. Okay? It's called an ibur, impregnation. It's good dibuk.
Does he get any benefit?
He doesn't get benefit in this case. You get benefit.
I thought since he passed away, now he can't do any zuchiyot, but since now he comes down and the world helps you.
So there is certain things, but he can't do zuchiyot once he's up there. But when he comes back down here and he's inside your body, in some cases, Hashem, there's another kind of ibur called ibur adome legilul. So he comes, let's say a guy, I don't want to jump the gun, but just to answer your questions. Another kind of ibur, a person did all the 613 mitzvot except one. God is not going to send you back over here to do one neshama, to do one mitzvah, right? So God puts that guy's soul inside of you while you're about to do that mitzvah. You do it, that guy gets the benefit too. Because you guys come from the same root, and then he leaves. That's called ibur adome legilgul.
It's not suffering for them to come back down here?
No, because he doesn't have, just the opposite. The other way is more suffering. If you have to be born again, it'll come all this way just to do one mitzvah, he's going to drop dead.
He's here for 10 minutes.
He's here for 10 minutes, he gets what he needs to do, he's out. Okay? Now, these nishamot of tzaddikim, you're not going to get a soul of a tzaddik that has nothing to do with you. You have a root. In your root, there's many tzaddikim. You're only going to get the soul of a tzaddik that comes from your root. Okay? Let's finish the paragraph. So these souls, mit'abrim, they impregnate inside a human being. Besod anigra ibur, it's called ibur. Lesayot, to help him, ba'avodat Hashem yitbarach, in the service of God. Like one day you wake up, and suddenly you're so energetic to do mitzvot. Where does that come from?
Ibur.
You have an ibur inside of you. You could lose it real fast though. One bad thought, chas v'shalom, does he die? Okay? But that soul could also help you overcome that. Right? The Midrash says a person who wants to be holy, what does it say? Mesayim. Ever heard of that? They help him out. What does that mean? Mesayim, they help him. They send you souls of tzaddikim to help you out. Rabbi Natan Omer, Nishmatam shel tzaddikim ba'ot u'mesayim. Rabbi Natan says in the Midrash, the actual souls of tzaddikim come and help you. The Zohar says a lot of stories. Suddenly, Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Abba are walking on the street, and suddenly they see an old man on a donkey. They see him on a donkey, and he teaches them Torah. So what did he say? What does he say? The Zohar says that suddenly they see a guy on a donkey, and he's teaching them Torah. So if you don't know anything about Torah, Chasod secrets of the Torah, you're going to think that he actually saw a guy on a donkey, and he's teaching them Torah, right? But that's not what it means. What it means is they were able to comprehend the ibur neshama that they got, and that soul came into them in the form of a donkey driver. Why a donkey driver? Chamor, a donkey, is very connected to the world of Asiya. They had this iburim in which world? When they had still their nefesh. So that's what it means. He came to them in the form of a donkey driver. And this soul of Amun Saba, so that's what Amun Saba used to teach them Torah. It means they were able to connect with the soul in them. We're not on that level yet. But Bezrat Hashem Yitbarach, if we can continue with the shiurim, we can do the Torah, and mitzvot, v'sim tovim, we could reach these levels too one day. B'kedusha v'ta'ara. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen. Amen.